Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick little update today on the weekly chart. We're looking at the shorter term charts as well, though, and I'm actually going to focus on the shorter term charts. On the daily chart, on the 4-hourly chart, the 15-minute chart, we'll look at Ethereum as well. I'm just going to show you what I think about Bitcoin right now. Now, Bitcoin's actually been doing something quite interesting over the last 24 hours. There is a support zone, or a resistance zone, I should say, within this range right now in red that you can see, which we've attempted to flip. And just in the last 15 minutes here, we've failed to break above that zone, and we've actually come to the downside. So I need to tell you what needs to be held, essentially, for Bitcoin in order for it to remain healthy, because Bitcoin, as you may know, has a great opportunity here. Now, right, not only does it have an opportunity from the descending wedge formation on the weekly chart, but it also has an opportunity because for the first time in 6 months, it could potentially form a higher low that could flip into an upwards trend if we just see a bounce here into a higher high. And with an upwards trend within a descending channel formation, that will eventually lead to a breakout, which will lead to a renewed bull market. So it's a very interesting time, and we discussed this very heavily yesterday. We've got a chance here, we've got an opportunity, but we're still cliff dwelling. And the price action over the last even 15 minutes here has not been particularly reassuring. So I just need to update you on the situation. We're going to do that in a second. It's going to be a quick video. Bingx and Bitunix, just before we get into it, are the 2 exchanges I advertise on this YouTube channel, with my referral links down below in the description and pinned comment. You can use those links to sign up. And if you sign up with those links, you'll get a 15% trading fee discount for life on either of these exchanges. They're both global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world, and they've both never been hacked before as well. So take your picks there. The links are down below. Let's get into the content. So as I just explained, the Bitcoin weekly chart, very, very important right now. I'm not going to waste time recapping too much here. We know for a fact that Bitcoin's in a descending channel formation. That is the macro structure right now. There's various yellow lines on the screen that form our macro support zones. You can pause the video and take a look at them if you wish. If all of those break as well as the channel, it's over, essentially. And if the channel breaks upwards, guess what? Bull market's back on. Very, very simple. Not just about Bitcoin, it's about the macro economy as well. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the macro economy, and luckily we'll be able to clear that up when it comes to the FOMC decision in about 7 days from now. But most importantly about the weekly chart is the RSI. We've got a descending wedge formation on the weekly chart RSI, and we can see very clearly we're at the bottom of that wedge right now, meaning we can't really afford to move down much more, okay, especially on a weekly candle close. And it's interesting because the price chart is kind of telling us the same thing, right? These yellow lines here that I showed you, particularly this one stepping backwards from 2018, actually formed the bottom on the last correction we saw. So this is the line from 2018. You can see we daily candle closed right on top of that line, as well as right on top of the channel's support zone, meaning that line along with the channel was what led to the bottom there. It's what led Bitcoin not to completely collapse downwards and form a bear market. We did see a quick collapse on a wick, but we didn't see an actual sustained collapse, and we didn't enter a bear market there for that reason. It's that support line in yellow and the channel itself that kept us from doing that. Now, if we zoom in further, you can see that support line in yellow has actually been very, very important on this recent drop downwards. Although it's, we've jumped around up and down below it, which is common for lines that have been stepping backwards 6 years from 2018. They're not perfect, but they do still act as support resistance. So even though we jump below it and above it, you can see very clearly that it still acted as resistance, right? Resistance right here, support right here when we got back above it. It was still a very valid line. So we went below it, we flipped it briefly, we got back above it, and we flipped it for support, and then we bounced upwards here. We attacked our nearest resistance zone, which is sitting at 58K, which we needed to break. Now, unfortunately, if we zoom in even further, what you can see is that we didn't quite break that level. In fact, we tried to 2 separate times. We tried over here, right, which is when I made yesterday's video. I said it would be great if we made another attempt. We made another attempt, but unfortunately, that attempt happened during a bearish divergence as well as descending volume in an upwards trend, and it was destined to fail. So Bitcoin did not break outwards, and then obviously what I was waiting for today, and the reason I didn't make a video sooner, I'm making a video at midnight right now. The reason I didn't make a video sooner is because I was waiting to see whether this was going to hold for support, and it did not. And as I'm filming right now, we have now crashed below the 56K support zone, and we will be on our way downwards to this yellow line again. This yellow line stemming backwards from 2018, which led to the bottom over here, okay, on the daily candle, it led to the bottom, and which led to a couple of wicks for support and resistance over here. We will be, in my opinion, retesting that zone, and I would love to see that zone hold. Now, if it doesn't hold, right, we might be entering some trouble because, as we've just mentioned on the weekly chart RSI, Bitcoin, unfortunately, does not really have much room left to move to the downside. You know, if we end up going below that 2018 line, perhaps the RSI will be in a bad position, or perhaps it'll take a little bit more. You know, perhaps the bottom of the channel needs to be broken for that to occur. But all of these lines are kind of in the same place. I mean, the RSI, the 2018 line's 55K, the bottom of the channel's 53K, and the line stemming back from October, as you can see, this one right here, I'll zoom in so you can see it, is actually just a little bit lower at 52K right now, 51.5K. So all of these important macro lines are kind of in the same place. And right now, as we have lost this short-term support zone, we will go down and test these macro lines again. So Bitcoin, unfortunately, I mean, my tune has really not changed for a long time. I'm just giving you an update on what's happened. Really, my conclusion remains the same. We're still on the edge of a cliff. We're still on the edge of a cliff. We're still not out of the woods. It's still not looking good. And actually, there is a fresh breakdown here on short term, meaning we will once again be under the pump with the upcoming weekly candle close. We cannot afford to lose that wedge on the weekly chart RSI, and it looks like it's going to be another nail-biting weekly candle close. So fingers crossed for Bitcoin in that regard. The same story on Ethereum, literally exactly the same conclusion. Ethereum has a resistance line which it needs to break to the upside in order to gain upwards momentum. It also has a weekly chart RSI descending wedge, just like Bitcoin does, literally exactly the same. And unfortunately, if we go back to the daily chart, Ethereum also had a support zone that it managed to flip to the upside, which it's now tumbled below. And we can zoom in and look at that in the shorter term chart, and you can see it very clearly. But now, again, just like Bitcoin, Ethereum will be tumbling downwards to retest its critical support zone, and fingers crossed, that needs to hold. Same story even on the total cryptocurrency market cap. Failed to break a descending resistance line right here to the upside, and now coming back downwards to support most likely. So we're going to be facing another intense week on cryptocurrency. It feels like the intensity never stops nowadays. And yeah, that's just all I can say. Get ready for the intense week. Don't let the fact that we're going to have an intense week scare you too much, because at the end of the day, just because the market's intense and just because Bitcoin's not out of the woods and it's constantly under pressure doesn't necessarily mean it's over. It just means it's under pressure, really. I mean, if we go to the daily chart, we can see clearly on things like the stochastic RSI and the MACD, specifically the MACD coming in for a bullish cross, meaning that we will be seeing intense volatility quite soon, and the stochastic RSI signal line approaching the top of the center band, meaning that, again, we'll be approaching intense volatility very, very soon. I still think, to this day, and I've said this since the start of August, that September will be the month where Bitcoin gains a massive degree of clarity. September will be the month where we will be able to say, by the end of it, hopefully, that Bitcoin is looking likely to renew the bull market or going into a bear market, right? I do believe September will give us the clarity we need. We are still in that cloud of uncertainty, and hopefully soon we will be out of it. Fingers crossed for the next couple of days here as we break downwards. Let's hope it's a fake out. Let's hope we don't even need to test those support zones. But if we do, we have to be aware of it. So that's what I got to show you today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and check out, like I said, the Bingx and Bitunix exchanges. My referral links are down below for 15% trading fee discounts. Go ahead and check out our Telegram group, right? We have a VIP group on Telegram. I post altcoin trading signals 4 times a week. I've got a 78% win rate on those trading signals, and I've been posting them for 2 years. So consistent 2 years of posting in a track record, publicly transparent and available, 78% win rate. You can't go wrong. Check me out on Telegram there. And then we have finally the Crypto Academy, Become a Trader 10-unit course teaching you how to trade. It's on sale right now. If you want to learn how to trade, you can do so with this educational course made by myself and Megawell Crypto in collaboration. All the information's on the website. And I'll just mention one more thing. It is my second channel, JS Quinn. I'll be having another podcast episode dropping there within the next few days on the topic of free will. So if you're interested in the free will argument, philosophically speaking, there's a lot of implications there. It'll be very interesting. You can check that channel out. I actually appreciate you if you do that. I'm trying to build something there, so we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.